Welcome to Before Floor, the pregame edition of Five on the Floor, brought to you by the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I'm your host, Jonathan, aka Jonathan_MMA. We're here with Mateo Mayorga and, of course, boss man, Mr. Ethan J. Skolnick. Now, as always, if you're new to the channel and you love Miami sports, Miami Heat, Dolphins, anything South Florida, make sure you guys like the video, make sure you guys subscribe to the network, and turn on that bell notification so you get all the latest updates when it comes to the 5 Reasons Sports channel and all your favorite South Florida sports. Now, if you guys are young and with the family and you want to make sure that all your assets are taken care of in case something does happen to you in this crazy world, go to markbrownpa.com. That's marcbrownpa.com, or you can give him a call at 954-566-5678. He's based out of North Lauderdale, services the entire area. And like I said, if something happens to you, you want to make sure that everything goes to the right spot. He'll give you a free consultation. He'll make sure that if you don't know what I'm talking about, you know what you're talking about. You get everything taken care of. And he's a Heat fan, so make sure you give your business to a Heat fan, not a Hawks fan, not a Knicks fan, not a Lakers fan. Go to markbrownpa.com. That's marcbrownpa.com. Or like I said, give him a call. Numbers on the screen, 954-566-5678. Now, as always, we give you guys predictions for our prize picks every single time. We want to make sure you guys maximize your money. Get a free up to $100 prize picks with the promo code 5. Make sure you go to prizepicks.com. Like I said, spell it out, F-I-V-E, and we'll match your initial deposit up to $100. You can play for as little as $5 per game. So that's literally up to 20 free plays. Make sure you guys maximize your money and go to prizepicks.com and use that promo code. Like I said, 5, F-I-V-E, spell it out. Guys, we're coming off a back-to-back. We're going into a back-to-back game. Coming off a tough loss last night against the Knicks. Obviously, a Hail Mary three-point shot off of a broken play by Julius Randle. But, before that spot, there was moments of opportunity that the Heat did not capitalize on before we got there. Ethan, I want to talk about some of the things that you saw that maybe the Heat should have capitalized on that they didn't last night.
Well, let's just start with the defense in the first half. That can't happen. And particularly the transition defense, which has been a problem. And transition defense is effort. And you look at a team that can't run because they don't know how to run. They get out in transition and everybody sort of runs into each other. They've not been a good running team all year, but then they also don't stop teams from running. So essentially, if you are not defending with the offensive struggles that you have, you can't get easy baskets. And then, you're allowing teams to just go on you. And the difference in speed in the first half is what stuck out to me. The way that Quickly was getting wherever he wanted, the way that Brunson was getting wherever he wanted. Miami is not a particularly athletic team. They don't shoot particularly well. They're not particularly big. They're not particularly fast. You throw all of those things together and you have problems. The second half, you saw what happens when they find a five that was playing disciplined defensively. Essentially, Eric Spoelstra, took Strus out. He went to Caleb Martin. He went to Caleb Martin and Oladipo, along with his big three, so to speak. And those two guys did a very good job defensively. Jimmy locked in defensively, and Tyler made some things happen offensively, and they got back in it. But their margin for error is just too small. And so we can say, lucky shot or whatever. And sure, it was a little bit fortunate. The ball came back to Randall. Hero should have put his hands up. There's a whole bunch of things that could have happened on that last play. But this team is just average. That's what they are. And all the metrics show it. And now if they lose this back-to-back to Atlanta, they will be officially average at 500. And they will likely be looking at an 8, 9, or 10 spot going forward. And I wish I could be more optimistic than that.
Yeah, it's definitely tougher to be optimistic. Like you said, when it comes down to it, this team just lacks a lot of athleticism and lacks a lot of two-way players that we can just make sure that, they have both sides at all times. And especially when it comes to the playoff series, I think that's where we see a lot of this. Like we'll see maybe our struggles magnified a little bit more because with Jimmy Butler, he's going to be able to grind it down, give you playoff Jimmy. But with the limitations that this team has, I think schematically, a team that doesn't make a lot of threes and is forced to take a lot of twos isn't going to go very far in the playoffs. It's just going to be very hard. Let's get to the matchup of the backcourts, Mateo. Over the last 2 weeks between Trae Young and Dejounte Murray, they're averaging, I think, 57 points a game between the two of them. Obviously, Miami's had some backcourt struggles, not only defensively, but offensively as well. What can Miami do to slow down that backcourt of the Atlanta Hawks?
Well, they got to have some of their effort that they showed in the second half of last night's game where they outscored the New York Knicks by 13 points. But the Atlanta Hawks are in the midst of a surge, or at the beginning of it. Ever since they fired Nate McMillan on his day off, and then Quinn Snyder replaced Joe Prunty on February 28th. They've won out of 4 games. They've won 3. They're scoring 127 points a night with the highest 3-point percentage in the league over that minuscule 4-game span at 47%. And they're moving the ball very well in the half court. It certainly looks like an improvement over what you saw in the half court between DeJounte and Trey, with it being your turn, my turn. And with DeJounte having a lot of usage of the ball, it looked like Trey is turning into a statue on the wings. We're seeing less of that now, and the Atlanta Hawks, at least between those two, they look more dynamic, and that really doesn't bode well for a team like the Miami Heat, because last night in the first half, like Ethan said, their effort in the first half was atrocious. It was the second straight night where they gave up at least 70 points through 24 minutes, and New York did that on 63% from the field. So really, you got to do the best you can at staying in front of your man. Defensive communication is a must. I'm not sure if Bam Adebayo has risen to that level as a backline defender that PJ Tucker was last year for this team. I know, like, in terms of just playing, he is that dude, but in terms of being vocal, I'm not there in the building. The TV is only so loud. I'm not sure if Bam has really, become that excellent, like linebacker defender that can just call out where to be, so to make things easier for the guys. But really, you're going to need a virtuoso performance from Jimmy. You're going to need that also from Caleb. You're going to need guys like Tyler to play a little bit above what they've shown throughout this year. So it doesn't look well for the Miami Heat because they're in the midst of a spiral.
Well, although it does not look good for the Miami Heat, it could look good for your wallets. So make sure you guys go to PrizePicks.com. Let's get you guys some money. Make sure you use that promo code 5. I'm going to start off with the first pick, which I always think is a lock. It's not always locked, but over the last month or so, there's only been one game where Tyler has shot less than 5 3-point attempts, and he's hit more than 2.5 most of the time. So the Tyler Hero 2.5 3-point shots made, I'm definitely going to go on the over with that one. Ethan, I'll let you go ahead and pick next. We have Bam Adebayo on there. We have Gabe Vincent on there. And we have, I think, Caleb Martin on there if I'm scrolling down. Let's see. Nope, it's just Tyler Hero, Gabe Vincent, and Max Strus. And Bam Adebayo.
I wouldn't play Max right now. I'll say this. Jimmy is going to play tonight from what I've heard. It's the second night of a back-to-back. When I asked him yesterday if he was going to play, he gave me an existential answer about it. He doesn't know if he's going to wake up in the morning. So I hope that Jimmy woke up. But then he is likely going to play from what I heard. I do not understand the minutes restriction because I was told there is no minutes restriction. I was told that again this morning by someone very close to Jimmy. So I don't really get why he's being held down to 33 minutes or so. He seems to be playing about 14, 15 minutes in the first half. And, I mean, this is the time they need him. Like, the playoffs have started for the Miami Heat. And not playing Jimmy and him together, Jimmy and Bam together, those minutes have literally sunk them in both of the last 2 games. The Philly game got completely away from them because of it. And then the game against the Knicks, they were outscored by 12 during that stretch. I mean, that's the game there. So I'm gonna go over on Bam tonight, though. I feel
points.
I feel like Bam has escaped a little bit of criticism lately because everybody's been all over Tyler. But there was a wake-up game from Tyler last night. There really has not been that game from Bam yet. Since the All-Star break, his numbers are down significantly. It doesn't feel like he's come back yet. This has happened to guys in the past. It's not the only one. Guy came back from the All-Star. Even Dwayne used to be a little bit out of sorts for about the first 4 or 5 days afterwards. I think he gets it going tonight, though. So I'm going to go over on him. I actually kind of like the points, assists, and rebounds for him at 31.5. I'll play that tonight, provided he stays out of foul trouble. I also think that they're going to look at maybe getting him back out there with Caleb more often. I hate to say that the Love thing has been a failure because I think Kevin's had some moments, but the Bam Love minutes have been a failure. They have not, if you look at their metrics, it has not worked out very well. They made that run yesterday with Caleb in the game. I think Spoelstra is going to lean back towards defense now because at least he knows that can happen if he puts the right group out there. With offense, it's like you're forcing offense, but you're giving up so much on defense you can't guarantee the offense. So I'm going to say Caleb gets some more minutes with Bam, but I think actually Bam's the one who benefits from it. So I'm going to play him over.
Awesome. So we have two right now. We have Tyler Hero over on 2.5 3-point shots made, and Bam Adebayo over on 31.5 points, rebounds, assists. And like you said, I love that combined stat because some days he's not particularly scoring well, but at least he'll get there and get the rebounds on the defensive end and try to show out on that side of the ball a little bit more. Ethan rocking the PrizePicks shirt. So like I said, use that promo code 5. Mateo, I'll let you close it out. Like I said, we got a couple players, mainly Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. What are you looking for as far as props tonight?
Let's go for points on Tyler.
We got 21.5 points.
He should follow up on what he did last night. One of his main defenders at the guard position is going to be Trae Young. To get past him, he does not need a screen. The way the Heat offense likes to roll, when DeJounte is in front of him, I anticipate he will get one from either Caleb Martin or Bam Adebayo. They don't pose much resistance. They're really a drop defense team unless Okongwu is on the floor. So Tyler should be able to eat against this team because they may score a lot of points, but they give up a lot of points as well. So give me Tyler for the over.
Awesome. So limited board tonight, guys. We'll go with 3 picks. Like I said, use that promo code 5. I love using the flex play to mitigate some of that risk and make sure that you're still more likely to get that money. Because even if one of the picks don't go through, you still get 25% more of your money than you invested. So that way you're winning it all the time, right? It's not about winning big every time. It's about winning that percentage. Play that compounding game when it comes to using your money when it comes to this. Like I said, use that promo code 5. And double your deposit up to $100. Guys, let's get some predictions. Mateo, I'll let you kick it off. Ethan, I'll let you close it out. Mateo, what are you feeling about tonight's game?
I don't like this one either. The Hawks are scoring over 127 points a game. Over the Heat's last 2, they're giving up at least 120 a game. If they show up giving the effort they gave in the first half last night, it won't really be too much to say because I think I heard some people saying on the Spaces last night that they should go out and enjoy their Friday night. And I might go do that if they find themselves down like 15 to 20 points at the halftime. So I'm going to go with an Atlanta Hawks victory because I don't like what I'm seeing from the rest of the role players. Snipers can't hit an outside shot. Sometimes they go through stretches where they can't hit close range buckets either, and the offense just totally falls apart. And the Atlanta Hawks are playing a whole lot better, and they have this, they want to. I see this happen all the time where teams play well when they get a new head coach, and Quinn Snyder just got there, so they got that working for them. So give me the Hawks tonight.
Ethan, close this out, man.
Yeah, Mateo's right about that. The Hawks have a history of playing well for a new head coach. They did it with Nate, actually, when he was brought in there the last time. And I feel like this group was looking for a change. I've always liked Quinn as a coach, and I feel like he'll get this thing pulled together. It may require trades of some players, but I think for right now, they see an opportunity. I mean, for all of their problems, they sweep this thing against Miami, and they can leave Miami in the rearview mirror here for a little bit and at least secure potentially a play-in spot at 7, where then, it makes more work for Miami to move back up there. I just don't like the look of the Heat last night. I didn't like Jimmy's answers last night. I don't blame Jimmy for this, but it feels like the defeatism has kind of kicked in. I had somebody pretty close to one of the players today say this is a lost season. This just feels like that right now. They don't know if and when Kyle's coming back. I don't know if they even want him to. You look at, guys who are out of the rotation who are, Duncan's, they're getting nothing out of that money right now. The Love and Zeller thing gave them an initial jolt. I think they're both decent moves, but I didn't think they were going to move the needle very much. And I think that's where we're at. And it's forced this team to go a different direction than they were planning to go. And so I don't think that that's helped either. And Bam's in a little bit of a funk right now. Like I said, I think he'll get out of it. But I don't like this matchup for them that much. I know they've beaten the Hawks a bunch of times. I know that Gabe's been giving Trae trouble. I said if they started this homestand getting blown out by Philly, 2-4 would be my max. I think 2-4 might be generous right now. I think they'll be fortunate to get 2 splits here against Atlanta and Cleveland. I don't think they win the one tonight. That would be my viewpoint of it.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, it's going to be tougher, especially on the second night of a back-to-back. They're played heavy minutes. You went deep into a close game last night. So tonight's going to be tough. Like you said, offensively, I think the Hawks are 3rd in points per game in the league. So they're doing a really good job scoring the ball. They're not even making that many threes. Like you'd expect them to be hitting a lot of threes, but they're doing a lot of work inside the paint as well, getting some of those short-range shots from, Trae with that excellent floater. I agree with you guys. I think this tonight's a tough one for Miami to win. As far as it being a lost season, it's kind of sad to almost feel that way, but it's tough to look back the other way, especially with the teams that are ahead and the teams that are clicking. You're looking at guys like Milwaukee, teams like that. It's going to be tough, especially if you do even make the play-in or, escape the play-in. You're a 7 seed. You got to play Boston or Milwaukee in the first round. It's going to be a little bit tough. So keep it here as always, regardless if we're losing or if we're winning, we'll keep you covered here with the Miami Heat. So subscribe, make sure you guys like the video, and make sure you guys hit that bell notification for all the things. So let's go Heat. Alejandro will have some player interviews afterwards.